Hey, what's up, guys? This is Easy Things to Draw. I am Enrique, and we're going to go over today kind of a concept that, yet another concept I've thought about for a long time, and I've kind of seen it in practice. And I'm going to talk about the concept of small things making a large difference in an overall scheme. And I'm going to talk about, and there's a lot of ways you can take that, but I'm going to talk about the curvature of line. And as opposed to the angularity of line when you're using them. And I've kind of talked a little bit about this in the past, but I wanted to make a video centering entirely around this concept. And I guess it's a combination of design. I mean, it really is just, I guess it comes down to design. So let's say, now I'm gonna be using just the normal ballpoint pen to talk about this, but we're gonna talk about. Okay, so let's take two things that are structurally similar. I'm going to just fade it in there, and I'm going to just a proof point to talk about it. I'll say structurally, this is pretty close. Like, I'm just going to draw an eyeball. One thing that I've seen really add up, and okay, so let me describe it like this. Have you ever drawn something, let's say drawn like a demo, or you draw a picture from a comic book, and you're like, God, I know how to draw a face generally, and I think I drew all the features similar, but there's something about it that doesn't make any sense, right? There's something about it that it doesn't look right, even though technically all those things are there. Yeah, there's something subtle that's not there. And I see that with animation a lot, or especially with drawing females, because a lot of that is this subtlety, and I've talked about subtlety mattering as well. But it's kind of, what I've seen it usually is the curvature of line. It is the line, the way you use it. So, and that can be, like, let me contrast the angularity from one to the other. So let's say this one right here, I draw that straight line, and I'm pulling this curved line here, and pull that curved line over there as well, and I'm adding in a tremendous amount of curvature into the stuff. There's no line here that's just straight. Everything is going to curve a bit, which I like anyway. Obviously, the pupil and iris are going to be curved, but we're not going to concentrate on them for now. This one contains more round forms, like no line is completely dead straight. I don't think. Maybe the closest one would be this one, but even that's curved. Just fill this in to make it mildly presentable, mildly. So you have these curvatures. And that's, like, again, a big style thing, if you want. You have this eyeball line art, right? Put that there. Well, that's a square. And let's say you have this particular eye over here, and we're going to make this one a little bit different. I'm going to make this much more angular. See this right here? Instead of doing, see, look at that line right here. If we isolate, let's say, the line touching the eyeball, like the actual eyelid, this one over here on, let's just say this is A and B, so we can really discount. And on A, if you isolate that line touching right there, this one right here, if you isolate them, there's a subtle angle And should have finished drawing that eye first, but I'll get into that later. If you're to isolate them, this is curved. This is it still has a little curvature to it, but there is this bizarre little shape right there. That's one of those subtle little things I've seen that people don't pick up on at all, and it makes a humongous difference in the overall feel of of the drawing, whatever that may be. I'm just using eyes here so that it's simplistic. It's a simplistic concept, so you understand it. Forgive my quick drawing. Eyeball has to be not the same. Same thing with this. Everything I'm drawing more straights, more angles. Everything is angular. And obviously there's combinations of each to create a drawing, whatever style you may want. And that's up to you, by the way. Neither one of these is wrong or right. This is just different ways of doing that, and I believe that's kind of where you find style from that. I've seen people throw this, I forget what artist that was. I should have gotten artist examples, but they throw that angular look hard, really hard. And they have like almost a whole new look. I kind of use angles a lot, to be honest, lately. Let me make this presentable first. Let me see this on the camera here. See, these eyes, they're built very similar, especially this center part. You really can't make it anything other than that. I guess you could angle out that highlight a little bit. But they're more or less to, I would say, the viewer, they're pretty much the same. A lot of that is almost subconscious. It's weird, but it's like for someone who's not trained, it's going to be really subconscious. They're going to find this one happier. You know what I mean? Like rounder forms tend to be happier, friendlier. Think of stuff like SpongeBob, things for kids. That tends to be rounder. You know what I mean? I put like a little round thing right there. Stuff like comic books, video games, and basically characters within that are like, let's say, bad guys. They tend to be more square angles. You know what I mean? That whole angularity thing, like it's gonna, ow, like if you touch it, it's not friendly to touch. Think about it, if you touch it, you're like, oh, you're gonna poke yourself on this or something of that sort. Let's take this as well. And I'm just describing this concept to you. This isn't like a dead set rule. This is just a concept, and this is just things that designers have used for a long time. And I have talked about it in the past. I just wanted to make a whole video centering around this topic. If you were to take this angle right here and this angle, you could say, hey, that might be just closed up more, but it might not. I'm just angling that as opposed to this. I want you to notice, like, again, the subtlety, and small things overall will completely change the kind of mood of what you're doing. It'll also change kind of the audience is aimed for. If you're creating something for a little kid, it's going to have way more rounds than this. It's going to be lean to this side. You have way more round everywhere. Like I said, squishy, huggable, and like I said, bad guys or stuff for older people. Like you think of stuff like, it's an extreme example, but the Transformers movies, obviously, that's for an older audience. That tends to be more obviously they're robots, though. That's a little bit different. I was actually thinking about stuff like Dragon Ball Z, like Vegeta, like Goku, all this stuff. Those characters are, their hair is just cool. So the overall point is that these tiny little changes within angularity will add up to a completely different looking image and a completely different mood. So keep that in mind. It's a small structure. It's a small thing, like I said, but it will affect your drawing. And I see people struggling with subtlety a bunch, especially at intermediate. I'm still struggling with it on and off, depending on what I'm drawing. But that is something I wanted to address because of the emails I've been getting from some of you guys. If you have any questions about this concept, please talk to me. Shoot me a comment below, and maybe I'll make a second follow-up video to this on maybe a clarification. Just talk to me, guys. Also, check out my website, refinethedesign.com. I got some videos on there of me rambling. I call them the Art Boost videos. You can check those out. I'm not going to put a link to it. You can just look it up. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, see you soon.